Folks, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Pirate National Committee meeting. It is our 11th of January meeting, the first live stream of 2026. So folks, thank you for being here. Thank you for attending. And we look forward to the new year. My name is Jolly Mitch, captain of the United States Pirate Party, and as always, friend of the show. I'm going to go around and ask for IDs in the order in which I see them. The first person I see is Blaze.
Blaze Henry, captain of the Arizona Pirate Party and scribe of the United States Pirate Party.
Thank you kindly. Drew.
Drew Bingaman, Pennsylvania.
Thank you. Joe.
I am a possible candidate out of Massachusetts and proper scallywag, Joseph Wondorowski.
Thank you kindly. Let's go Mikey. Or Mike, they're our Ohio representative.
I'm from Ohio, kind of new.
Well, thank you, sir. Let's go David.
I'm one of the representatives for Florida Pirate Party.
Thank you kindly. Wanda.
Wanda Ward, Florida Pirate Party, and U.S. Pirate Party Lookout.
Thank you. Cy.
Hi, I'm Cy. I'm handling public relations from a junkyard in the middle of nowhere in Montana.
Thank you kindly. Eli.
Eli McGee, Massachusetts representative.
Thank you. Last but certainly not least, Ty.
Hello, I'm Ty Clifford, United States Pirate Party Vice Captain and West Virginia Observer. Good to be here and see everyone.
Thank you kindly. And then Blaze, let the record show that today's voting members for Massachusetts and Florida, I believe Eli is tonight's voting member, and then Wanda or David, who will be voting tonight for Florida?
It'll be me.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right,
Thank you. So it'll be Wanda and Eli are the voting members for their respective states tonight. So let's just jump right into some business. First of all, I want to ask, is there any statewide news? Does anyone have any state Pirate Party news that they wanted to share? Blaze, go ahead.
I guess two developments is that first development is that I'm pretty much already told you, Mitch, but we gained our third rep who can attend PNC meetings. Me, Citizen, who goes by Dustin, and Christian is the third rep's name, and he'll also be helping with the campaign and helping develop the party as possible here in Arizona, and hoping to get to the bottom of these issues to learn more about the party and stuff like that. Second order of business is that there's going to be a event called Tucson Free America Walkout sort of thing on the 20th. I don't know if anybody's heard of it around the country or something like that, or some variation of it. And I talked with the organizer about it and talking about collecting petition signatures, hosting a table there, and possibly giving a speech there. And they agreed. And yeah, that's not a lot of details have been fleshed out yet. But yeah, there's further developments going on with that. Yeah.
Well, thank you, Blaze. Those are exciting developments, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of the Arizona Pirate Party. So thank you. Is there any other state news anyone wants to bring up? Joe, go ahead.
Yes, so there was a couple things that came up recently that I wanted to bring to national attention. The first of which is I was approached by the people who are doing term limits, and when questioned about it, I wanted to propose it to the national committee. But Massachusetts' stance is we're actually in favor of term limits. We don't think that any one person should be doing the same job indefinitely. Now, I personally have been on the fence about it because if somebody's good at it, why not let them do it? But even then, the way it was proposed to me from Jamie and from Steve was that, well, if you're in the job for more than 8 years, it's time to move on beyond state rep. And I actually agree with that. Um, no one should be doing the same job indefinitely forever. It should not be a retirement plan. So I want to come here today to request that this becomes a discussion on the platform committee so that we can properly have a good chat about it and talk about it and see where we really fall and stand and let the gears of our political mechanism work as they should be. And the other thing that I had to talk about is we are really working hard getting everything done for the conference. And so we are looking to do it at the Armory. Now they have the main space that's only going to be available on the 6th or the 7th on Sunday at 6 p.m. and on. So we're looking at alternative locations or possibly hosting it in the basement, which is where we had our last conference there anyways, which it really just depends on how many people are going. We also have a backup place at the Marriott, and I am starting to look into places at the Elk and the Lions and a couple other places in which we can host if we have a larger crowd. We do have a possible wedding venue, but I think we're not going to have 150 people there. So that might be a little bit too deep in the pockets. But we definitely plan on doing the Constitution. And we also have a family friendly duck boat tour where we can literally be on the boat as we go and land and tour. And it's a little bit more of a silly, family oriented, fun tour of Boston. We also have an event that we were looking to do to walk the Freedom Trail and map cameras and stuff like that. Um, but that one's a little bit more intensive of a walk. So we're working on the plan. We're working diligently in order to make this a successful conference, and we are very much looking forward to having you all in our city up here. So just wanted to share that.
Well, thank you, Joe, not only on the conference update, but on the request to platform. And in fact, I have something that I later will be suggesting also gets taken to platform, or at least I'm going to present to the board. So thank you, Joe, because that's one of those things I think we can get some good mileage out of discussing. So thank you kindly. Uh, any other state specific news? Hearing none. Just to briefly cover the conference, Joe, I did briefly speak to Jamie. Obviously, I want to say thank you to the Massachusetts contingent because you guys are the ones doing all the planning and all the, you know, grunt work to make sure that everything gets put together. So thank you for that. Obviously, any help I can be, any help that I can give, please don't hesitate to reach out. Anything that I can do to make this better. I have no issues, doing whatever needs to be done in order to make this a successful conference, in order to get everything we need. Folks, and if you're watching at home, June 6th, 2026, that is 20 years of the Pirate Party of the United States, and we will have our conference on a boat. Joe, go ahead.
I just want to say that if you are planning on coming to Boston, Boston is also hosting FIFA Soccer World Tour or the World Cup this year, right after we're having our conference. So I highly recommend you get in there and start booking your Airbnbs. If you're planning on coming, you start doing that right now because it's going to get really expensive and really hard to get the Airbnbs. Or I know that we're going to be doing a list of pirates that can host um, host people up and put them up and board them up, but those spots are going to be fairly limited. So if you can afford it, I personally like the Airbnb because it's the most cost effective, but the hotels and everything are depending on where you want to go, what you want to see while you're here. So I would just do the booking now and start looking into that.
Very good. Thank you, Joe. Wanda, could you do me a favor? I just realized because James is in the chat, he never received the new link. Could you do me a favor? Could you get the link to James?
That's political freedom fighters, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I can give it to him.
I was thinking had a suspicious lack of North Carolina, and I couldn't put my finger on why. So thank you, Wanda. Thank you, Joe. Uh, if there's no other state party meeting, I will just bring up that in Ohio, gubernatorial candidate and Pirate Party endorsee Tim Grady appeared on Talk the Plank yesterday. Quick 45-minute episode, and I thought Tim did a good job answering any questions, and I thought we had a nice amount of people in the viewers in the chat who were from Ohio and had questions for him. So that was the goal, that was the hope, and hopefully we continue to hear good things out of the Grady campaign. As well, in Nevada, Hunter Rand just had a appearance on the U.S. Transhumanist Party virtual enlightenment salon. As it turns out, Gennady lives pretty close to Hunter. So close, in fact, that I believe they were able to meet up and have chat in person. So Hunter was able to appear on the virtual enlightenment salon. So I'll make sure to link that in the chat below. So anyone who's watching, now or after the fact, because don't leave this video. But we will absolutely be able to share that and make sure you watch it and support Hunter and any pirate candidate we have. And then speaking of pirate candidates, I do have questions, and the first question will be to Drew. How the hell you doing?
Well, I do have some news. We finally got our bank account set up. That took way longer than I had hoped, but we finally got that going. Our debit cards for the campaign account should be coming here in the next day or so. So that means we'll be able to be taking donations, and that's a good thing. We're working on getting our actual the mechanics of taking donations, getting that set up right now. I'm going to be working with my campaign manager probably tomorrow or Tuesday to kind of nail down the rest of that. Wow, Joe, that is.
It's frightening, Joe.
We have a couple of. I'm working on some appearances and some meet and greets. We're getting those set up. I don't have any dates for those yet, but I do have dates for our first group petition signing date. That's going to be on Saturday, February the 21st. Our petitioning period is very small. It's like about 3 weeks from the end of February to the beginning of March. And I need 300 signatures from Democrats in order to get on the ballot, and I need to get them in that period of time. My campaign manager is pretty confident that won't be too much of a problem, but will need to. That's the one thing I'm a little nervous about. Collecting signatures is not the easiest thing in the world to do. So yeah, on February 21st, I'm going to be at our local market house, which is downtown here. Going to be helping actually gather petition signatures for some of the other candidates as well. I'm going to be doing some dual appearances with some of the Democratic congressional candidates. So that's coming up too. But again, I don't have any dates for those. So, but that's pretty much it. I had a couple of people reach out to me to see what they can do to help, and we're working them in. And yeah, we've got access to Vote Builder, so that's a cool thing. So I'll be able to see my voters, and then we can organize my campaign committee in that too, which is pretty slick. Trying to think of anything else. I think that's about it for now.
Right on. Thank you, Drew. And then as you can ask any anonymous former candidate, because I'll have to ask him about that revelation in a moment, but ask any former anonymous candidate who's appeared on the ballot. If you need help collecting signatures, Drew, I am more than happy to come out to Pennsylvania to help collect signatures, especially if it's 300. Obviously, no amount of signatures is a small task. So any help that people can get is always appreciated. So if you do need the help, Drew, you let me know. I'd be more than happy to come out and assist with that. Otherwise, the question I do have, which is a question I often ask, is when should we begin properly endorsing you and promoting you?
I would say you could probably do that at any time. I'm not, I'm not hiding the fact that I've been involved with the Pirate Party. So it just is, it just is. So, um, yeah, I mean, I would say at any time because we're really getting into the beginnings of primary season here in Pennsylvania. So,
Perfect. So then would you be opposed to me announcing your giving you a post this week on the website?
no, go ahead.
All right, fantastic. Well, this week
Just
I'll make sure to get the go ahead.
yeah, just link to my page. Oh, I got business cards. Although I don't have any handy right now. Get business cards for the campaign. That was the other development. Yeah, just make sure you send a link to my web page, which right now is just the Facebook page. But yeah, that the web link will stay the same. And that's drew4108.com, which is in
Absolutely. I will make sure that, everything is posted accordingly. Tomorrow I'll make sure to, when I post the in case you missed it for tonight's meeting, I'll have Drew for 108 linked there as well. But eventually when you have your own post, Drew, I'll make sure that everything that needs to be linked, everything needs to be said, everything, whatever, that'll be properly addressed. And just to be fair, I will make sure to send you it just to not be like, hey, Drew, I posted this. Hope you like it. I will be like, Drew, is this good to go?
Yeah.
Just because running as a Democrat, I don't want to. Not that we would be endangering your campaign, but obviously I want to put forward the best appearances I can for you.
Sure.
So thank you, Drew. And then Joe, go ahead.
So I just wanted to say, Drew, that I am very excited that you're running. That is great. Jolly Mitch was actually a huge kick in my butt to make sure I kept on going. And, you know, if you have the opportunity to meet up with Mitch and have you guys help out, it's really good, not just for you, but it's also good for Mitch too to get the practice in. That said, something that helped me make collecting signatures feel a lot better was to me, it wasn't about collecting the signatures, but an opportunity for me to get in front of the people who I want to represent, have those honest conversations with them, and find out what really matters to them. So when I was knocking on those doors, to me, it wasn't about getting their signature. It was about finding out who the people are and having those open and honest conversations and really connecting with them. So if you just look at it with that slightly different perspective, it becomes an entirely different thing. And that honest connection is what made me so successful because I want to represent these people. You want to represent these people. What matters to them? Be connectable. Be you.
The other thing I will say is running as a Democrat and having access to the voter information that since I need Democratic voter signatures, going to and meeting with the Democratic voters first and knowing where to find them is a much easier thing to do than it was when I had run previously as an independent or third party. Either way, in Pennsylvania, it's the same thing. You get your list of voters, and there's never enough independent voters to just get their signatures. And as a third party in Pennsylvania, you can get signatures from any voters, any registered voters. But it's a lot harder. That trying to convince somebody to sign for you as an independent candidate is a lot tougher sell than going to somebody who's registered as the same party as you are, trying to get them to sign. And I have, I've already experienced the difference in people willing to help without even necessarily digging into what do you believe in, what is your platform, all this stuff, all of that stuff. So the road so far is even though the window is small, the road is looking a lot easier to ballot access than it was as an independent. So I will, but absolutely the talking to people and learning what their needs and concerns and what they're looking for in a representative is certainly a good thing. And I'm going to be doing that as I meet with people, and then through this whole campaign. And this is only part one. Getting through the primary there are 2 other candidates for the primary seat. So yeah, it is going to be a competitive primary. So we're
Good luck.
first hurdle is signatures, and that'll be done. That period is over the middle of March ish. So
Well, that's a double-edged sword there because even though I ran as an independent, I was still pulling a lot of those Democratic votes. And that's because of that personal connection that I made with them. I got Republican votes, I got Democratic votes, I got independent votes. And, I'm really just waiting to see how the situation's going with me. But as soon as I know, you guys are going to know. So good luck, Drew. If there's anything we can do for you, you got our love.
all right, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Drew. Thank you, Joe. And then before I go into Wanda then Blaze, we've been ignoring you guys long enough. How about we get IDs out of Mars and James? Mars, you go first. If Mars is here. Well, we lost Wanda. No, and there comes Wanda. Mars, if
Jeez.
you're here.
I'm here. I'm just driving, so it's hard for me to actually do stuff. But hi, I'm Mars. I am from Ohio. That's all.
Thank you. James.
Hello, I'm James, captain of the North Carolina Pirate Party.
Thank you, James. And I apologize for you not getting the link earlier. When we started, I was thinking we're missing James, and I apologize for not getting that to you sooner. So that is the 2 of you. For record keeping purposes, for Blaze's sake, I'm assuming Mr. Stove, I think Mike is going to be the voting member since you were here first. Would that be correct? Mr. Stove, you are muted if you are trying to respond, but I'm going to assume that you will be the voting member. Your silence is very loud, but I'm going to accept it as an answer. Wanda, you've been waiting longer, so you go ahead first.
I was going to ask, did we ever formally endorse Drew's campaign? Because if we haven't, that might be a good thing to do.
You know what? I don't believe we had formally chosen to do so, given the obvious circumstances of why wouldn't we endorse Drew. However, I think we could put a bow on that and make it official if it pleases the crowd. Wanda, if you wanted to make a motion for that, we could absolutely address it. Otherwise, let me get back to you. Let's see what Blaze has to say, and then we will move forward on that business. Blaze, go ahead.
I just wanted to chime in on what Joe and Drew said and pretty much agree with Joe was saying about how easy it is to run as an independent. Wow, you can draw, signatures from both Democrats and Republicans, because that's what I was able to do. Because I was able to get people to sign our petition from people who are obviously Republican from a quick look, and people who are obviously Democrat from a quick look. They're observations, of course, so don't want to assume too much, but you get what I'm trying to say there. And I guess my only advice so far for me is to just get out there every day, because even just a little bit of signatures every day counts, because it adds up. It adds up after a while, but I don't have to tell anybody else that for sure.
Thank you, Blaze. And then just my own 2 cents with this. When I was collecting signatures for Joe, secrets out the bag, but when I was collecting signatures for Joe, one of the phrases that I was continuously using, which ends up being a phrase I've since adopted for the whole party, was, "Hi, my name is Mitch. Your neighbor Joe is running for office, and I'm trying to help him get on the ballot." I would always refer to Joe as their neighbor. Hey, your neighbor Joe is running for office. And it made me realize we're not politicians, we're your neighbors. That's something I've stuck ever since I came and collected signatures for Joe. I think people respond to that. I think that's one of the reasons the independent candidate will get the signatures from the independents and the Democrats and the Republicans, because you're not a politician. You're offering something different and familiar, which I think is two things that people are seeking. And they may be afraid to, pursue it because there is comfort in the familiarity of the Democrats and Republicans. But I think the idea of putting forward that shakeup and actually having that option is really alluring to people.
Agreed.
Ty, go ahead.
I just wanted to make an announcement for West Virginia, not the West Virginia Pirate Party, but West Virginia in general. And it may be a talking point for some other states with their constituents, your prospective constituents, anyway. West Virginia made a terrible, terrible wrong turn some time ago where they basically booted independents out of the primaries. So what this means is, in this upcoming primary election, if you are independent, you better change your party affiliation so you can vote. You will not be able to vote for who you want, because generally speaking, who we want is either Republican or Democrat, and you have to be affiliated with those parties to vote. It is closed to independents. So I just wanted to make that very clear. And if that ever seems like a good idea in any other state, please go against that. That is one of the most horrible things, and it's a very dark blow to parties like ourselves, where we don't have pirates on the ballots yet in places. So that's even worse, because we would naturally fall to independent, right? So now we have to indefinitely choose a side here in West Virginia if we want to be participants in our voting structure. So just want to make that clear. I'll post a link in general to a news source that breaks it down. I'm not going to get into it fully here, so if you guys want to read that, you can. But yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
Thank you kindly, Ty. And then Joe, go ahead.
Just in response to that, if we get going long enough, we might be able to collectively hire a lawyer to challenge that. That might actually be unconstitutional.
Yeah, it seems like it's unconstitutional, because your speech, you're saying your expression is you are an independent, and so why can't you act as an independent, right? You're saying, oh, well, you can come into this building, but you can only say these words. Yes, this is the government, but you can only say it's the exact same thing. So
Actually, sorry for interrupting you, Ty, but have you contacted the ACLU?
Not yet. I didn't exactly know how to put it in words. I don't even think I'll have to do that. I'll just shoot them the same link. Be like, dude. Oh, but yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I would shoot it to the ACLU and actually bring it up to the Board of Law, the Bar Association, and seeing if there's any lawyers that could look at this case pro bono. Just because it might be something that you can build a actual case, especially with new and inspiring lawyers that might want to make a name for themselves.
And it's Republicans that did this. So
of course it is.
Yeah. Yeah, it's terrible. But anyway, yeah.
It's incredible. They want the government ran by a business, like a business. But then as soon as they start doing collusion, they want to say, no, that's just hard politics. This isn't business. It's ridiculous. It's a monopoly of politics, and it's bullshit. So thank you. This insane law would make a great state plank. And you know what, Sai? I'm going to jump ahead and say, that wouldn't make a good plank, and we should talk about certain planks now as we go into committees. I'm going to ask, is there any committee news from IT platform or outreach? Uh, we'll start with there. Any committee news from any committees? Want to go ahead?
Outreach committee met this week. We discussed ideas for how to help state parties, including business cards and other materials that could be distributed in person, as well as how we could go about in-person recruitment for the party. Something I wanted to bring up and something I kind of want a formal explanation for is, Sai, what was with your absence?
Well, I've been having to jump between hotels. It turns out the new mayor of Billings, Montana's own hotel isn't up to Americans with Disabilities Act code, and their bathroom kept flooding, so I had to relocate. It's been tiresome, but we're finally getting somewhere, where we can take a shower without, drowning ourselves or the whole place. But hopefully that'll get ironed out here in the near future. And along those lines, I did want to add to local news, one of the big, along our water planks, the city of Billings it has jacked up everybody's water rates astronomically over the past few years. And they're going to start shutting off people's water this week. So it seemed a little ironic that we should all be having plumbing problems due to, antiquated infrastructure and people who don't want to spend the tax dollars to maintain it. So that's where we're at.
Well, thank you, Sai. Thank you, Wanda. Life happens fast, and sometimes everything happens all at once. And when it rains, it pours. So, Sai, thank you for keeping your head above water and doing what you can. And we'll obviously, I'm wishing the best for you, and hopefully, once everything gets settled out, we'll be good to go. Keep the puns flowing. Did I say something? I'm sorry. I'm really bad at accidentally doing that. Before we go any further, Joe, I believe you did speak on this already, and I apologize if I'm having you repeat yourself. But given the same question I asked Drew, I want to turn around and ask you the same question. Any updates or anything we need to know about it? And further, is there any promotion that we could do in the near future?
Well, unfortunately, I am still dealing with my personal family situation. I'm hoping that this week I get my family situation at least started to be mended, which is really, really good. Um, um, without going into too much detail, um, it was a really, really disgusting and difficult situation that was criminal. And um, I'm pursuing that to the full extent of the law, but it kind of put me in that very awkward position. The other thing is the person I'm running against might end up getting the Democratic nomination to be running for senator. And if that's the case, then it's really the time for me to be in there. But they may not. But either way, I'm going to keep the pressure on. And that's my whole intent. But it really just depends on what type of campaign I'm running. If the incumbent is in there, my efforts are not going to be as severe. Whereas if the incumbent is not in there, I'm going to go full tilt. So it really just depends on what's going to be done. Obviously, my greatest goal is to like always promote what we're doing here. So, and that will always be my goal because what we're doing here is going to change our nation. So, um, we need to keep up the pressure, and I think that that's the most important part. We are the plebes. We are the ones who are representing the people. We are the people. So that's
I couldn't agree more, Joe. Thank you kindly. And then you just keep us updated as the updates come. Godspeed. Obviously, life is always going to come first, and whatever needs to happen, we'll do what we can for each other and for you. Uh, hope everything works out. And no matter what, Joe, run or not run, you are fighting for the Pirates. So everything you do, we greatly appreciate you.
Well, if I can just say that the only reason why I wouldn't be run is because I'm doing the next right thing, which is what we do as pirates. So,
Thank you, Joe. And I believe since we've covered state party news and we've covered outreach committee news, there's really nothing else in order to talk about. Blaze will get to you in just a moment. I wanted to just say that since Joe already brought it up, I think it'd be good for platform if we could send to the platform committee the idea of term limits and see if that's something we want to discuss by Massachusetts suggestion. Also, something I wanted to discuss that could be sent to platform committee. I'm sure some of you, at least most of you, know who Mr. Beat is. Not Mr. Beast, but Mr. Beat, who is the teacher from Kansas or former teacher from Kansas who now runs a political history YouTube channel. He has been having his own little campaign of Uncap the House, where he's been messaging his congressman every day asking that they remove the cap of 435 in order to expand the House of Representatives. That seems like an interesting thing. And he seems to think that that would solve a lot of the corruption and problems in this country. And that's just something I wanted to present to you guys to see if that sounds like something that tickles you. And perhaps we could reach out to Mr. Beat if that is. But Blaze, go ahead.
I was going to say that to add to my campaign, including me, Citizen, the third rep I mentioned, and two others. I have a team of 5 people collecting signatures. So, yeah, we should be able to finish our signature threshold by mid-March, if not a little later. But we should be able to finish by April 6th, which is the deadline. So, yeah.
Thank you, Blaze. And then, like I've told Drew, like I told Joe, if you do need help with signatures, you have another person to reach out to. I'm more than happy to travel to do something that's important, like collect signatures.
If things go really bad and by March, I'll give you a call, or mid-April, not mid-April, mid-February. I might give you a call on that.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you. And I'm off most weekends, so I should be able to, barring a wrestling show, I should be able to help.
I want to see how the 20th goes and how the rest of the month goes before I consider calling you on that. But I don't think we need you yet. But by mid-February at least, we'll probably have an answer whether or not we can call on you.
Well, thank you, Blaze. And believe you me, it's exciting to think I'm not needed. I would like to think everyone has that self-sufficiency to where they don't need the extra hands. And I personally hope you do hit that point where you don't need the extra hands. I would like to see you guys, strong as you are. So thank you, Blaze. Otherwise, I've brought up the term limits and I've brought up the uncap the house idea. Those I would like, if we want to discuss those, otherwise we can just send those to platform. Joe, go ahead.
even if I run or I don't run, I might have you drag up here with the pirate flag running around Boston. You know, we could even make mock cannons, but really just have them as EMP ray guns for scientific purposes. Go hit some shot spotters or something like that.
Folks, June 6, 2026, if you see some asshole in the streets of Boston waving a flag, it's me, and I apologize. I will be in Boston, Massachusetts on the 6th, and I'm going to be loud and obnoxious, just like I was when I went to Eastie for a drink. Anything else we want to discuss today? Wanda, go ahead.
Motion to formally endorse our former Captain Drew Bigham's campaign for State House.
Do I hear a second? Thank you. I don't think this causes much discussion. I'll just say, is there anyone who dare object to this?
I don't know if you had to put it that way, but
well, I feel like you'd have to be pretty daring to object to something like this.
No.
and I don't hear anyone so deviant, so dastardly as to deny this. So, Drew, I will say congratulations, as if we already didn't know. You have been endorsed by the United States Pirate Party.
Just
Thank you,
wanted to make it
everybody.
official.
No,
Well, I
I actually want,
appreciate
and it
that.
is greatly appreciated that you made it official. I think that it is nice to have those bows on top to make things official. So there's no like, well, wait, did we actually endorse him? Did we go back and endorse him? There's no question. Even though there was no question with Drew, it's nice to have that established. So thank you. So congratulations, Drew. You just earned a very elusive nomination. Only 3 people have gotten that this year, so you're in an exclusive club. 4 people. You're the 4th. You're the first this year, but the 4th to get it for this cycle.
That's sad. I'm glad to have it.
Yeah,
Appreciate the support.
and we appreciate all that you do, Drew. Thank you. Uh, wow, productive. I'm really appreciative of how this meeting is going. Is there anything else we wanted to discuss today? I'm hearing none. Uh, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll also entertain a second.
I will second that.
Oh, you guys are too sweet. Uh, are there any daring objections to this one?
Oh, actually, I did want to bring up our friend Doc Agnew in Ohio is running for Congress, I believe. So at some point, we probably ought to get him in one of these meetings. I guess next week, since we've missed this whole meeting. But yeah, it would probably be good to get him in here and see about getting an endorsement for him.
Yeah, Doc, if you're listening, if you're watching, we have no problem having you on. And if you wanted to discuss and talk about your campaign, it's my understanding you're running as a member of the Libertarian Party of Ohio. That's no problem. In fact, I think if you wanted to sit down and ask for that endorsement, I think it would be a nice precedent to set to say that, hey, we're not working in adversarially towards the Libertarian Party. We may not agree on everything, otherwise we'd be the same party. But it's nice to know that, we don't have to look at a candidate from the Libertarians and say, oh, well, they're not one of ours. Doc, if you want our endorsement, come aboard and we will be happy to discuss with you.
Come on in.
Yeah, water's great. Anything else? Because otherwise, I did hear a motion to adjourn and I did hear a second. Well, folks, I think we can call it there. I want to thank everyone for attending. I want to thank everyone for coming. You guys are the best in the West, and when you're in the East, you're the best in the East. Thank you guys for everything that you do. This will conclude the January 11th meeting of the Pirate National Committee. Folks, just a reminder that June 6, 2026, we will be in Boston, Massachusetts for our 20-year conference. Believe it or not, 20 years with the United States Pirate Party. I can't believe it. We'll be in Boston. It'll be a good time. We'll have a boat. We promised you a boat, and the USS Constitution is waiting for us. Folks, otherwise, I have nothing. Like I said, the platform committee will, I'm going to send down term limits, and I do want them to discuss Project No Cap. So I'll make sure to put both options in platform. And then before we close out, Joe, go ahead.
I was also going to say that the U.S. Kesson Young is also going to be there. So
I'm sorry, what
just
was
real
that, Joe?
quick.
I didn't catch that.
The U.S. Kesson Young is also right there. It's a more modern. It's a World War II ship, so it's actually a little bit more modern, but it's right there as well.
Perfect. Thank you, Joe. And for what it's worth, I don't think we'll be hitting the USS Salem and Quincy, but if we do, I just like the fact that there's a town named after the Quincy family because John Quincy Adams looked great. But that's completely beside the point. Folks, I don't have anything else I need to say, which means I am taking up your precious time when we could be ending the meeting. So, folks, Thank you all for attending. Thank you all for joining us. Vote pirate. God damn it. No, Drew. You know something? You know why I love this party? I love this party because we believe the United States should be a good neighbor. We believe in cool, clean water, like Hank said, like the Sons of Pioneers said. And we believe that if purchasing isn't ownership, well, then, folks, piracy isn't theft. Vote pirate, and victory is ours. Folks, thank you all for attending. We'll see you in 2 weeks on live stream. Have a great rest of your night.